YouTube sort of has this problem when it comes to videos about the 2 Tokyo Disney parks. See, they're all created by super huge Disney fans, people who just live and breathe all things Disney. They buy all the merch and they go to the parks in full costume, and Tinkerbell's pixie dust just seeps out of their pores. And please, do not get me wrong, I love those people. My first ever job was at the Disney store in Times Square, and the joy that Disney brings to people is a beautiful and infectious thing. However, I think that most people out there are probably a little bit more like me, casual Disney fans. We're gonna watch the movies, and we've probably even visited a park or two somewhere in the world at some point in our lives. Hi, if we haven't met, my name is Josh. My favorite Disney movie is Brother Bear, and I am a digital nomad who lives in a different country every single month. If you're anything like me and you are planning out your once-in-a-lifetime Tokyo trip, at some point you're gonna end up asking yourself the question, is spending a day at Disney worth my time in the most magnificent and activity-laden city on the planet? Full disclosure, in your seat, I chose not to visit either Disney park on my first visit to Japan. However, on my second visit, I was lucky enough to have 2 months in Tokyo, and I finally felt like I had enough time to visit both Tokyo Disney parks, Disneyland and DisneySea. Now I've got all the information to help you choose whether visiting one, both, or neither of the Disney parks as a casual fan is right for you based on your Japan itinerary. Stick around to the end because I have a feeling that my 100% honest responses to these 2 parks might surprise you. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of surprises me. Let's start with Disneyland because it's iconic, obviously. I was lucky enough to have 2 great friends come and visit me in Japan, Ian and Jimena, and we were all sort of in the same boat. We had been to Tokyo before. And this time, with the lovely autumn weather forecast, we decided that we wanted to visit the Disney parks. Now, if you didn't know, Tokyo Disneyland is modeled after Magic Kingdom in Orlando, which is both the best and the worst part. That means that many of the same rides you will find at Magic Kingdom, you will also find here at Tokyo Disneyland, including Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, and more. Now, if you are a creature of habit, this might be a good thing. And they do also put some seasonal twists on the rides as well, including making the Haunted Mansion into a Nightmare Before Christmas theme during the holiday season. Now, aside from those familiar rides that I just mentioned, they do have some rides in Disneyland that are totally original, including one that was an absolute highlight for me, The Enchanted Tale of the Beauty and the Beast. It basically takes you on this trackless journey through the entire story of Beauty and the Beast using animatronics and beautiful design. The ride actually moves quite fast sometimes. It sort of feels like a roller coaster with the way that you're moving around the room. I really enjoyed it. I just wish that it wasn't over so quickly. Another popular ride at Disneyland is the Happy Ride with Baymax. It's essentially your classic whip ride, except that it plays out to a really fun original soundtrack. Now, I didn't see this for myself, but apparently fans have created entire choreographed dance sequences to each and every song. And sometimes you can catch just whole squads of dancers outside of this ride just dancing their little Disney hearts out. I don't know why it's like that. I think with this one, the lore surrounding the ride is more fun than the ride itself. Speaking of Baymax, I'd be lying if I said that this next thing wasn't one of the biggest reasons that we decided to go to Tokyo Disneyland in the first place. It's this Baymax curry that we had at the Center Street Coffee House. It's absolutely adorable. I mean, you might have already seen this all over social media, and for good reason. It's super unique and precious, and I bit its head off, like I was a female praying mantis. On the topic of food, both parks are super well known for their various unusual flavors of popcorn. You smell it everywhere you go. People will line up hours for this stuff. Now, I personally don't like popcorn. I know, don't hate me. But if you're a popcorn fan and you're willing to wait in line, give it a try. I'm sure you'll love it. For dinner, we grabbed food at Les Tavernes de Gaston. And as you might have guessed, it is Beauty and the Beast themed. Or more specifically, Gaston themed. I got a little of everything here, which honestly was pretty easy to do because they have this like assorted sample plate, which has a hot dog on a pretzel bun, along with a side of like mashed potatoes. All of this was okay, but I don't know if I'm ready to recommend it. What I really wanted for dinner was this Mickey hand bao that you'll see all over the internet, but they closed that restaurant in Toontown super early. so we missed out. If you want to grab that bao, head to the Good Time Cafe for lunch or for an early dinner so that you don't miss it. The verdict. What's he gonna say? Okay, so I know I just sped through that, but I also don't want to spoil everything for you in case you do choose to go. There's tons more to see and experience at Tokyo Disneyland, and you could never see it all in one day. But let me give you my verdict on Disneyland, and then we can move on to DisneySea. Truly, Disneyland Tokyo is lovely. It was a lovely day. No matter how old you are or how big of a Disney fan you are, it's impossible to deny how charming and beautiful and well-maintained this park is. The rides are... Oh, I bit my tongue. The rides are fun. The app-based system for reserving rides is actually really well designed and useful in helping you organize your day. And there are tons of really cute food options. The whole day just flew by, and the parades and the fireworks show at the end of the night were absolutely up to par with Disney's high standard. That said, I think pretty much every casual Disney fan should skip Tokyo Disneyland, at least on their first visit to Tokyo. Why? The main reason is simple. In many ways, this park is a recreation of Magic Kingdom in Orlando, and other Disney parks around the world feature many of the same attractions. As such, it's not totally unique to Tokyo. And when you're in Tokyo or in Japan for the first time, there is so much unique and beautiful culture to take in that I don't think that your time is best suited to using a day in Disneyland. However, before you leave and make up your mind about Tokyo Disney, please let me tell you about DisneySea. DisneySea is special. It is a one-of-a-kind, unique Disney park experience that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. The most similar park that you might compare it to would be Epcot in Orlando. However, as the name suggests, the locations represented in Tokyo DisneySea are based around port cities around the globe. There is Venice and Boston and New York, as well as more fantastical or obscure locations like the Arabian coast, the Mermaid Lagoon, or the Lost River Delta. The entire park is a stunning experience to see, and it is a marvel of design and engineering. On the whole, this park has a little bit more of an adult feel. They sell alcohol at DisneySea, and they do not at Disneyland. The rides are a little bit more mature as well, including the Japanese version of Tower of Terror, which is as frightening as advertised, Soaring Fantastic Flight, which gives you the chance to virtually fly around many of the greatest sights in the world, and perhaps, best of all, an actual roller coaster called Raging Spirits. Now I gotta stop and give all credit to my friend Jimena for this one, because when we first got to this ride, it was totally closed for repairs. Shut down, no guests allowed, and we were disappointed, but we had walked away and moved on. And somehow, she had this sixth sense that we should head back over toward it. She was sure that it was about to reopen based on literally no information. And I don't know what sort of psychic abilities she possesses, but yeah, as soon as we got back over there, they reopened the ride and let us in, and so we basically had no wait. I love roller coasters, and the general lack of them at Disney parks has always been a complaint of mine, so this was really nice. Also worth mentioning, the carousel in Agrabah, the Aladdin section. It's really beautiful, but I mostly wanted to mention it because I asked Jimena to film me riding this ride, and I sort of just needed an excuse to include this footage of me just absolutely acting a fool. What am I whispering to Jeannie? Why does this all feel somewhat sensual? I had drank no alcohol. Is this not a park for children? I have questions for myself. Ian, who was to my left, clearly also had questions. It was a great night in Agrabah. In terms of food, I do think that Disneyland has DisneySea beat. For lunch, I had this Mickey-shaped quiche, which was pretty okay, but I do think that it needed to be heated up a little bit longer. I also had a Mike Wazowski pastry, which was filled with like some sort of mango-flavored cream. I guess mango is what Mike Wazowski is supposed to taste like. For dinner, I had this seafood pizza with a Mickey egg in the middle from a place called Zambini Brothers. Ian and Jimena would disagree, but I honestly did not like this pizza. I don't know if it was the sauce or what, but it wasn't really working for me. The egg was good, but how do they get the yolk shaped like that? Does anyone actually know? The real highlight at Zambini Brothers are these green alien mochi from Toy Story. You get 3 and they come in 3 different flavors: strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. These were great, and they're also super cute. Aside from the Baymax curry at Disneyland, these were my favorite things I ate. We finished the night watching the fireworks show in the central area. Here, it all takes place on boats, which makes sense according to the DisneySea theme. and it adds a really beautiful and unique layer to it. It definitely feels fresh compared to what you're used to seeing at Disney parks. So, what's the verdict here? We've already decided that most casual fans should avoid visiting Disneyland on their first visit to Tokyo. But what about DisneySea? I think that only if you have at least 5 to 7 days in Tokyo or more, that you should spend one day at Tokyo DisneySea. I know, if you know how much I love Japan and how much I value my time in Tokyo, you'll realize that this is a big deal for me. But DisneySea is the most beautiful theme park I have ever seen. It's a marvel to behold, and unlike Disneyland, there is no version of this anywhere else on Earth. It may be Disney, but it is entirely unique to Tokyo. The rides were great, the lines were actually reasonably quick, and while the food wasn't especially delicious, it was very cute and unique. And all of this is without having gotten into the brand new section of the park, Fantasy Springs. Since I didn't get to go, I'll avoid spoiling it for you, but please try to get a ticket into Fantasy Springs if you can, and come back here and let me know if it was worth it. I may be a casual Disney fan, but I am a passionate and hardcore traveler. My central belief within travel is to experience things that are unique and that show off the nation's culture. And believe it or not, I think that you do get both of those things at DisneySea. It's entirely original, and it exhibits so many of the traits that make Japan special, such as their attention to detail, cleanliness, passion, creativity, and commitment. While you should skip Tokyo Disneyland, I think that even the biggest Scrooge McDuck will end up cracking a smile or two at DisneySea. And isn't that joy and magic what travel is all about? My name is Josh, and I love you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I have a whole selection of Japan videos to prepare you for your trip. Click here to watch one about the incredibly beautiful and historic city of Kyoto.